25th. Link to class near pod is in the chat. Let's go ahead and join. Remember, the session will be recorded in case anybody is absent or would want to review the lesson again. Agendas and reminders. We had these two modules due this week. None of them had a graded quiz. It is TAP, the zeros week. Progress report grades are due this Thursday. Make sure you check your math grades and see if you need to complete any quizzes. Complete it by today because those are the grades that go in the first quarter progress reports. Fall break starts tomorrow all the way till Monday. We will all be back on Tuesday. We do have open office right after this session. If you still have questions over past quizzes, please make sure you join. Lesson target. In this lesson, you will understand operations and their inverses in given inequality to solve for the value of the variable in two-step inequalities and its models. Before we look at those kind of problems, I want to see if everybody understands inequality symbols. Here are the inequality symbols along with what they mean. Show me in a graph, right? Graph each inequality to show what it means. Everybody gets started. You have learned this in the past in 6th grade or maybe even earlier, how to graph inequalities. So you can show me what they mean. I see here Aurora, Brayden, Billy, Carol, Lily, Zainab, everybody. Lily, are you listening? Lily, yes. Lily, are you listening? So Lily, make sure to join open office right away. I'm gonna go over your quiz 3 point, which one it is, about the proportional relationships and graphing, right? Make sure you join open office right on time. If you join a little late, there are people already, they're providing me with their request and I get started with their quizzes. So if you join right on time, that is what I plan to do. So you get answered. I know you had a request and it was way before other people did, but you were not there in the open office before those people showed up and I was doing their quizzes, right, Lily? So make sure you join right on time and get answered. I see here Brilly got started. And you guys are doing a lot of work here. I'm just going to show where the dots go, whether they're open or closed. Kayla, yes, this is what I'm expecting. Jax, yes, this is what I'm expecting. So if I were to show something that is less than, without putting much numbers, I can just say I will have an open circle and arrow pointing to the left. Shows less than, right? If you want to put in some numbers, you can also. Billy? No problem, Billy. Now I gave you one example. You follow the example and I know you can do all of them. Right, Billy? You are super bright. Make sure the open circle looks very clearly an open circle. Carol, good. Very good. Bronan, good. Zena, very good. Jex, open circles. I want to see some open circles. Kayla, very good, Kayla. I agree to the very last one. That is what you modified just now. China, show me an active slide so I can see your work and give you feedback. Miriam. Yes, Lily, you are right on time for this class, Lily. I was talking about open office. I knew you had questions over a quiz. I feel bad I haven't gotten a chance to go over your particular questions and you wanted to see how I can graph them. I was talking about open office that you join on time. This one, we are just trying to graph inequality symbols to understand what they mean. If you want to see what some of your classmates are doing, this is an example from Zainab. I will definitely give her credits. She's showing me by graphing what each of the inequality symbol represents. Does that make sense to everybody? Zainab, would you want to unmute yourself and talk about your solution? about your graphing. Zainab. Kayla, I see on your slide you got something similar. Would you want to hop on the mic and talk about Zainab's work? Brilly, you said you understand. Can you express in words? What did you understand?
Okay, so I haven't learned this before. I guess in my curriculum, like last year, I didn't learn this. But based off of what I'm seeing, is that if it's less than, if it's like equal, the circle's closed.
Very good.
And if it's not, it's open. That's what I've seen from
Why
this.
do you think the circle is closed for less than or equal to?
Let me think.
Everybody think. See what we can come up with. Everybody think. Why do we have a closed circle for double inequalities? If anybody can come up with the answer, we can give you extra credit. That can be added to your lowest grade. Whatever extra I'm going to give you, I'm going to make sure I'm going to add today so that progress report grades look good. Question Aurora is, why do we have closed circles for these? Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Why do we have closed circles for these? Serenity. You want to hop on the mic and talk about it?
Say that again, what you say?
You want to speak about what you wrote in the question and answer chat?
Oh, I said if it's closed, it shows that it's double, where you could do both or both less than or equal to.
Very good.
And then when it's open, that means you can only do one, like less than or greater than.
Very good. Excellent, Serenity. Aurora, I think you also have something to share. What are you going to share, Aurora?
I was thinking that sorry, my voice is horrible. Um I was thinking that the closed circles were like Serenity had said, to show that you can do less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, while the open circles are only less than or greater than.
Excellent. Very good. So in these two, the 2 are included. 2 is included in the solution. In the top two, 2 will not be included, right? So that means in the top one, numbers only less than 2 are included. Second one, numbers only greater than 2 are included, not 2. But in the third one, 2 and everything less is included. Fourth one, 2 and everything greater is included. Does that make sense? That's why the shaded in circles are the way they are, and unshaded ones are not to include 2. Okay, I'm going to show you how you will be assessed on this topic. Sometimes you will be given models that look like these. You have seen models, but models that had to do with equations. Now, this time we are looking at inequalities. Inequalities and equations follow pretty much the same procedure. So, see if you can handle the question. So, write an inequality that represents this model and solve it. Everybody get started. Carol, you are super fast. I agree to you. So, Mohammed, the very last one in the box, I'm expecting you to put in the answer. And at the top, you want to write down the inequality and solve it. Okay, Mohammed? That's how I expect you to do. Run and you're right. So in that very last box, I'm expecting to see x or maybe 1x. That will come to you after you solve. Everybody write your inequality. I'm really very good. Jax. Jax, I'm confused where you got the inequality from. So Jax, I want you to reconsider. Over here, this particular symbol is greater than. You substituted a 5 for x. Now it makes sense to me. So you say 10 plus 1 is going to give you the other side. And do not solve yet, Jax. Sometimes I will show you. The question will ask you to just write an inequality for a model, and you need to know how the inequality will look like. I can even share with you the entire Nearpod. So Jax, I want you to go to one of the practice questions towards the end. So you get a good idea about how sometimes you will be assessed. If you look at maybe practice question 10 or 11, you will see they give you a model. And you have to write an inequality that represents. So you need to be well versed with writing inequalities from models. Serenity. Let me see. Serenity. I see what you got, but I am wondering what your inequality will look like before you solve. Serenity, right? Can you guide us here? Look at the model and see if you can write an inequality for this model. How many x do you see? On your left side. Kendra heading in the right direction, Carol heading in the right direction, Mohammed heading in the right direction. How will we write the inequality for this model? How many x do you see? Here we see, okay, Ronan, Aurora, Zainab, I agree, so it is 2x. And then after 2x, what do you see? There's also some 1s. You see just a 1, so it is a plus 1. We also have inequality symbol. It is going to be greater than symbol. Then how many 1s do you see on the other side, the right side? We all see 7 1s. Everybody agrees to the inequality at this time? Now we just got to solve it. There are 2 steps to solve it. There are only 2 steps to solve it. Step 1 says get rid of constant. Can you guys tell me what is the constant? Is 2 the constant or the 1 the constant? Constant will be the number by itself, Ron, and you are right. Constant is 1. So how are you supposed to undo the plus 1? Should you add another 1 or should you subtract a 1? Very good. You should subtract a 1 and you should subtract it from both the sides. There are only 2 steps to solve these. Step 1, get rid of the constant. So after subtracting 1 from both sides, how does the inequality look like? You have 2x still remaining on your left side, greater than symbol, and 7 minus 1, that is a 6. Now comes step 2. Get rid of coefficient. Coefficient is the other number. That is going to be 2. And to get rid of the coefficient, most of the time we are just dividing. We should divide both sides by... Lily, you are right. And to be precise, it is called two-step equations and inequalities, Lily. Because in this one, you see inequality symbol. When you see inequality symbol, you call it a two-step inequality problem, Lily. Right at the top of my slide. Two-step inequalities, right? So yes, divide both sides by 2. When you divide both sides by 2, you get x by itself. 2x divided by 2, you get x. 6 divided by 2, you get 3. X will be greater than 3. Are there any questions? And I see a graph, Muhammad's graph. What about other people's graph? Muhammad, think about the circle. Should it be open circle or closed circle? Will 3 be included or 3 be excluded from the solution? Think about it. If it's going to be included, solid circle, closed circle. Yes, Aurora, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I can say 1x, right? But Aurora, mathematicians just like to say x to 1x. So will mean same. 6 divided by 2 will be 3. Kendra, I agree to your circle. It is going to be open circle. Braden, I agree to you. Very good. Carol, I agree to you. Very good. And then Muhammad, think about where the 3 is. Let me make your slide big and see. I think you got a different answer than what we got. You got 3.5. Muhammad, when you subtracted 1 on the left side, did you subtract 1 also on the right side? Muhammad, so you do 7 minus 1, you should get 6. 6 on your right side. So 2x was greater than 6. See, you forgot subtracting the 1. No problem. So looking at the graph, Zainab, very good. I agree to your graph. Really, I agree to your graph. So far, I think you're heading in the right direction. Carol, you also need an arrow. So go to 3 and then put an arrow pointing to the greater than side. Are there any questions? That is Aurora. Let me see. Aurora, yeah, excellent. Correct. Didn't seem anybody missed it. Everybody heading in the right direction. But Ronan, your circle is too big. You got to make it small so it's precisely sitting on that one number. Serenity, very good. Make sure you all put the graph so you know how graph will look like. A lot of the times on my assessments, they like to give you a model and then ask you to graph the solution. So do not miss these steps, solve them out and then get the answer. Lily, I mean to say the arrow will keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. All numbers greater than 3 will be the answer, Lily. Does that make sense? So all numbers greater than 3 will be the answer. What does that mean? That also means numbers like 3.01, 3.5, 4, 4.5, all numbers you see and you don't see all the way to millions and zillions could be the solution. Because these are inequalities and there will be more than one solution, right? All numbers greater than 3 will be the solution. I'm going to show you one more question that requires a different kind of a thinking. So you have seen both kind of questions. Notice that number 3 says you have to decide whether to flip or not. Keep that in mind as you will try to solve this inequality. Negative 7x minus 13 is greater than or equal to 8. Everybody get started. Kayla heading in the right direction. Briley. Remember one thing, Briley. Look at these problems carefully. If you will look at it carefully, you will notice the coefficient is negative 7, Briley. So when I'm going to go and put in the coefficient, I will actually put in negative 7. This is important to know. So you know you will divide by a negative 7 on both sides. Right, Briley? It is not 7, but it is negative 7. Ronan, I also have another feedback for you. I just hopped in to help Briley with this number, but this was not step 1. Step 1 has to do with constant. Right, Ronan? Step 1 has to do with constant. Don't forget that. And right now, the constant is minus 13 or negative 13. Make sure you will undo the minus 13. Undo it. So Aurora, I'm watching your work, but I'm waiting to see what you're about to do. Kayla heading in the right direction. Kendra, I'm waiting to see what you will do. Remember, there are 2 steps. Step 1, get rid of the constant. Lily. Step 1, get rid of the constant. Constant is going to be 13, right? A minus 13. To undo a minus 13, I will add 13 to both sides. Then I'm going to see how the inequality looks like after adding 13 to both sides. A minus 13 and plus 13 cancels each other off. We still have negative 7x will be greater than or equal to, figure it out. Right, Lily? Let me see, Aurora. Aurora, I'm still trying to understand your work. I would basically add 13 to both sides, Aurora. So now I'm going to be left with negative 7x is going to be greater than or equal to. Serenity, do you think we should subtract 13 or add 13? Because our goal, Serenity, is to undo a minus 13. How will you undo a minus 13? Right, Serenity? That is the question to ask yourself. To undo a minus 13, you should add 13 to both sides. Lily heading in the right direction. Good. Very good, Serenity. I agree. Okay. So, Leah, here when I add 13 to both sides, my step 1, there are only 2 steps to do. Step 1, get rid of the constant. My constant here was minus 13. To get rid of the minus 13, I decided to add 13. What I do to one side, I also do to the other side. So what happens, Leah? Minus 13 and plus 13 becomes a 0 and disappears. On the left side, you have negative 7x greater than or equal to 8 plus 13. 8 plus 13, you get 21. Yeah, is that good guidance? Got it. Now, I wanted to talk about flipping the symbol. Whenever your coefficient is a negative number, you will flip the inequality symbol in your answer. That means right now it is greater than or equal to. After flipping, it will become less than or equal to. Why? Because the coefficient is a negative number. When that is the case, that makes you divide both sides by a negative number. When you do that, you should flip the inequality symbol in the main answer. So now I can say x is going to be less than or equal to 21 divided by negative 7. Let's see. Ronan, you think you got the answer? Ronan, where is your slide? Are you doing on paper? Put your answer here in the chat so we can see. Muhammad, I have another feedback. 21 divided by negative 7 is going to be a negative 3. Make sure you will graph it correctly. It's going to be a negative 3. Ronan, I think you are on a... Okay, I see it now. Ronan, feedback. Flipping part. Miss Syed said flipping part. If your coefficient is a negative number, then you should flip the inequality sign. Right, Ronan? And that means when you put a circle over the negative 3, you are going to go to the less than side. Does that make sense? This is one new thing that you should learn. Sometimes a lot of you will forget, but make a note. Because Lily, I divide 21 by negative 7. 21 divided by negative 7, negative 3. Serenity, I did 21 divided by negative 7. I got negative 3. Right, Serenity? That marks the end of the session. I'm going to open up OpenOffice in a couple of minutes. So we definitely have to end this session on time. Thank you everybody for joining. We have so many other questions in this Nearpod. I encourage you to solve and practice and get better.